What's up, folks? My name is Kris. I'm an entrepreneur in Sarasota. This year, I'm sitting down with business owners to learn all about their journeys, their triumphs, their struggles, and everything they've learned along the way. Today, I'm sitting down with Kris Chana in Port Charlotte, Florida, to learn all about how he's used business to express art. This is Stir. Well, first of all, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
thanks for the amazing gift basket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that was first class.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked it, man.
It's awesome.
Tell everybody, who are you?
So my name is Kris Chana. I own Chelsea Place Senior Care. I have a wife named Chelsea, and we have two kids, Emily and Liam, who are 6 and 2.
So you named the company after your wife, then, yeah?
I did.
Okay.
But she wasn't my wife at the time. We were
okay.
engaged, but just to make sure she didn't like run away on me, I put her name on the building, so.
So you put a ring on it.
That was my version of putting a ring on it.
I got you. That's pretty good.
I was secure. We were secure.
You hedged the bet.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
All right.
Went all in, man.
Tell me. I read a little bit of your history.
When I was a kid, I actually I had my own lawn business when I was 8.
Love it.
And the funny part about it was growing up, my dad he had a mortgage company.
Okay.
So when I had started my own lawn business, he gave me basically a loan to purchase some equipment. So I got a riding tractor, and then the little push mower and some of the other stuff. And what was interesting about it is he actually literally formalized an actual amortization schedule, a loan document, a promissory note, a personal guarantee, and he put this whole thing together for an $850 purchase of this equipment, right? And it had an 8% interest. It was a 3-year loan, 8% interest. The payments were $28 a month or something like that.
I was killing you on the interest.
I know, man. I know. So that was my early childhood. But I always had this interest in business. Idea of
being in business.
Yeah, being in business, and a lot of times what I was doing about creating something. I think the over time now I realize it's the creation side of it, right?
Yeah.
It's my way to express art.
Yeah.
Is to create,
absolutely.
Imagine and visualize and construct.
You're building this baby.
Building, yeah, exactly. It's just something like that. That's I guess what I'm passionate about, right? So I came back to Florida, and my dad's friend was opening up a small 6-bed assisted living facility.
Okay.
In Orlando. And he had come out of the mortgage business, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you just come see what it's all about?" Because here I'm lost, trying to figure life out, right? Yeah. And he invited me into the home. I pulled up that day, and I'm pulling into a residential neighborhood, and I'm I'm in my head I'm thinking institutional setting, hospital-like, people laying in hospital beds, not a lot of activity going on, kind of depressing environment. I'm why am I even doing this, right? But then I pull up to this residential home. And I get in there, and it's it just felt like home. It just felt like being in somebody's home, my grandma's house, right? And he had 6 residents that lived there, and it was just a really different environment, a completely different experience than I'd ever thought. And at the end of the day, I remember playing cards with his residents, serving them lunch. I even helped this one guy with a shower. He had terminal cancer, and he was very weak, right?
Gotcha.
So he couldn't do some of those things by himself safely. So he just needed that person to kind of hand him this, hand him that, be there so he didn't fall. But just after that entire day, leaving there, you just felt wow,
that impact you made.
Yeah, I just made a big difference in all these people's lives. You know, the person I played cards with,
in one day.
Right. Yeah. And it just you couldn't help but just feel really good about just the impact that you had that day. For me, all of a sudden that the realization of I could totally see us doing something like this. I told my wife because at the end of the day, creating this beach vibe, like a little bungalow, a little getaway, a cottage-like environment that that we could create. And so we actually there was a facility that was for sale down here in Port Charlotte, and it was a kind of an abandoned building essentially. It was an assisted living facility that had closed down. Okay. The state came in and shut it down. But it was in bad shape. The place was not Like I'll never forget. Like we kind of like we bought it sight unseen because it was an opportunity. Like I had seen the photos, but I'd never been there.
Right.
So then when I showed up, like with like all my gear, all my like my construction gear, like I'm like ready to go in there and like fix it up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what the heck I was walking into, but I got there and like I sent videos to my well, at the time my fiance, to Chelsea, and she's like, what did you get us into? Like, what is it? Like, cause it was, I mean, it was just in such bad shape. I mean, it had like a chain link fence, all the, it was like all white on the outside. It had like ALF written on the side, like in big black letters, like just ALF, like it just looked, dude, it was just like, oh my God. Like, and then everything was dead. Like all of the shrub, like all the grass was dead, all of the shrubs were dead, everything was dead. It just looked like a haunted house, man. I remember walking inside, everything was white inside, and I was like, and I started fixing the place up, thinking, all right, well, I'll live in here, I'll spend the night tonight and do all this stuff, and then, long story short, man, I ended up spending like 5 nights in a hotel, like, and just coming all day, working on it like 18 hours a day, just trying to like get put new doors on, get locks on the doors, like clean up one area. Like I remember. I felt so uncomfortable that I actually put a new toilet in just so I could use the restroom. There was no amount of like cleaning that I could do that was like gonna make me feel comfortable. Like I almost replaced it. So that was like 2011, and I think we fixed it up. Chelsea and I went in there, we painted, we redid, all the things that we could redo, like we didn't have a lot of money, right?
Right, yeah, it's just starting out. Were you 23?
I was 23.
23?
She was 21. We did all the painting, we threw out all the crap, we cleaned everything up, there was no help. It was like us and the family, like her family, they were a big help, but it was like, it was a lot of work. We got it up to a point where it was like, it's a livable place, it's a nice place, everything's fresh and clean and painted, and the carpets are clean and stuff like that. And then we were able to go through licensing and get open by May. Yeah. So I'd go to like marketing events in a full-blown suit just to try to like appear older, just to be taken, just to be taken seriously. Yeah, because in this town, it was just it was just an older demographic. It took us probably, I would say that first year, I remember in December we had 4 residents, and I was so happy that we just had at least 4. Right? It was a humbling experience because I thought it would happen a lot faster. Yeah. I thought we'd open and people would just show up. Yeah, exactly. I thought like that's how it worked, Like I didn't realize it was gonna be
I put the place here for y'all to come on in.
I know. And so, and at the time, what we had decided to do is we actually took over a little place, like one of the smallest rooms in the house that was kind of like off to the side. Okay. Because I didn't want to take over any of the bigger rooms. No, so I just needed the smallest room that had a private bathroom, and like we would take over that. So at the time, Chelsea was still finishing up school. And then, I was living there, and she would come and visit on the weekends. But then when as we got into 2012, she finished her school, we got married, and then she moved in. And so then it was like me, her, our dog, and in this little room, right? And I went and this room was only big enough to have a queen size bed and like a dresser. And then there was and then when the dog was laying on the ground, there was really no place to walk, right? Wow. It was tight. It was really tight. And but we made it work.
And how long did you live on site?
So 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
And honestly, I don't know how my wife did it. Like I look back, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm dude, that in and of itself was like a testament to all right, she's a keeper.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking
for sure.
I'm thinking nowadays, what chick's gonna go along this journey with this guy and move into an assisted living facility and be there for 3.5 years. I mean, because can you imagine you can't invite your friends over.
No, of course not.
There are no get-togethers or hey, we'll meet up, we'll pregame at my house.
Yeah, no, don't work. Pregame at the ALF.
Yeah, and then we had a curfew because we were the overnight shift.
Oh, so, of course.
So we had a curfew, so we had to be in by 10 every night, But we did a little bit of everything. I mean, honestly, from every role to cooking to cleaning to to taking care of people. I mean, I'll never forget back in the day, I would dress up like this, and then I remember getting getting up in the morning, dressing up, going to get breakfast started, getting a couple of our residents up, helping them get a shower, get them dressed, bring them up to the table. And then I would have a caregiver come in from Monday through Friday, from 8 to 5, just for the daytime hours. So I get Sarah all set up for their breakfast, and I'd be all right, peace out, and I'd go market all day and just try to get as much marketing as I could, meet as many people as I could, let people know what we were doing. Come back at 5, make Sarah dinner, And you know, we'd both watch a little TV, whatever, like chill, like do our thing, and then get her to bed. And you know, it was crazy,
Wow,
man. It was insane.
Non-stop.
Dude, nonstop, every single day, 24/7, 365. Honestly, there's 3 things I learned from that experience. One, just the humbling reality of like what it takes to start a business.
Yeah.
Like just the fact that like I thought it would happen faster and that, you know, we would be out of there faster. I didn't think we were gonna be there for 3.5 years. That was not my plan, right? Sure. So just the sheer fact that it took way longer than I ever thought. The other thing was that I learned so much about what families are going through when they're living with and taking care of their loved ones. Yeah. 24/7. Yeah. Like so when you got a family caregiver. Yeah, because like the thing is I know that they weren't my family, but like to some extent there was really no difference between me trying to go have a job and then come back at night and then take care of them, you know, and then overnight and then on the weekends because I was living that. Yeah. Like meaning my job was like marketing for that place Monday through Friday.
But then in the mornings and the evenings,
I'm the caregiver, right? And so like, you know, so like there's a perspective that I got because what would happen is you become emotionally just drained. Yeah, you know, and because all you're doing is taking care of people all day, right? And then all night, and then all into the evening and over the weekend, and
it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
Right.
It's just constantly, you know, and it's like, and you know, like. And so it just, you know, for those little, so I could visualize like those, you know, those family caregivers that, you know, finally their loved one like goes to put their head down for 2 hours and they can just like sit by the pool or sit outside for a minute and like have a glass of wine and just relax for like a moment, you know, and then all of a sudden they're like their loved one's like calling for help again and they're up again and they're, you know, and you're constantly struggling with this like, you know, you're not getting a good night's sleep. You're not resting through the entire night.
But it's mom.
But like there's so many like similarities there. That, so now when families come to us, I totally get everything they're talking about. I can totally understand like where they're coming from, how they feel, the stress they're under, like the emotions that they're going through. Meaning like you care about people, you know, but at the same time you're like frustrated, like you're on that verge of like a breakdown. You know, like
guilty feeling.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like and then the other thing too, from a staffing standpoint, like just like literally being able to understand like really what it takes like for your team to actually take care of people. So like when you're adding more responsibility to their plate, or you're trying to increase like some of the things that they might need to do, you know, like you know, can they really do it? Like, are you like how much of an inconvenience? Are you putting too much on them? You know, like can they really take care of everyone and do all those things the way you want them to?
All right, so let me stop you there. Let me jump into that because I know for a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, that transition from being a day-to-day operator where you do everything into a supervisor or a manager where you're training others, you're hiring others, and you want them to reach their potential and be fulfilled, but you got to make sure the job gets done, right? What's that been like?
So it was interesting. Is like, so when we had the assisted living facility, right? Like as I'm going through that process, we hired somebody that came in as a caregiver, right? Well, naturally, like just observing them being around that person, like I knew they were like more of a leader. Like you could tell that like they weren't like everyone else, right? Okay. Like I'm saying, like they were making decisions on their own, all in the right like kind of direction of what like I would have expected, you know, and things like that. And like they were kind of like advising, like just naturally leading, you know. Like and so I remember in that moment kind of identifying. I was like, I want to bring her on more, give her more responsibility because I need to offload some of that stuff, right?
Right.
Because like so, and she seemed like someone that like could handle that, right? So. Her name's Deb, and she's actually been with us ever since then, almost like 9 years. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so like, but at the time she started out like as just a caregiver, it was just me, her, we had a handful of residents, we still live there, right? So she's been a part of that whole journey with me. But like what was interesting about that experience was, it was the first time I kind of like delegated some tasks to someone, right? And then kind of over time, as we kind of transitioned and like opened up, or we're in the process of actually opening up our adult daycare center. And we brought on someone to run our assisted living, and then we were kind of like, and then Deb was helping me open up our adult daycare. Okay. Like what happened was there was a moment where both of them, so Samantha, who I had hired to run our assisted living, and Deb, who was running our adult daycare, and they like called like an executive meeting. Like they got together, I guess behind my back, okay? And like literally said, we need to meet with you today at this time. And I was like, okay. I'm like, what, like, I never had been approached like that before, right?
Yeah.
Like by your team. Like
I'm still a business owner,
I was like, wait, who's in charge here? You know, right?
Yeah.
So I go into this meeting and they're like, look, we got to change some things around here. Like if we don't change things around here, like we're leaving. And I'm like, it was like a moment, like it shook me to my core. But what they were like trying to help me understand is that like you need to trust us. You need to let go of these things. You need to you're going around us telling the staff what to do, like telling us, everyone's all confused. No one knows what what they should be doing. And in that, and what was interesting is I had been kind of like starting to read about leadership and development, and I thought I was doing that, but I was doing it to everybody, right? Like I wasn't just like leading through my leaders,
Right.
And that moment shook me up, and to this day is like a defining moment of when I finally took the reins as a leader and not like a manager or a super, or like not an operator slash there's certain things that you got to just allow your team to achieve that outcome in a way that it makes sense for them.
You were telling me about this transition you're doing. You've opened up these 3 separate businesses, same audience, but separate businesses, and now you're going through this rebrand and all that. Tell me about it.
So what happened? I don't know if you know Patrick, but David, he's someone I follow. I would say he's been instrumental in our entire just in my business development, right? Just becoming better at that. When they first started out, they had 20 different insurance products that they were selling. And what he realized was that he couldn't sell all 20 of those things really well. It was those 20 different insurance products were actually limiting his ability to grow. And then I realized in my mind, I'm like, well, that's our problem. We can't scale all 3 of these at the same time.
Yeah.
We need to put one. We need to choose one, and then put all of our attention on that one thing. And then just put all our attention on that one thing for the next 10 years.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And so that was kind of the moment where I was like, well, that means I'm gonna have to make a really big decision here.
You're gonna have to choose one.
Right. Yeah. Which one am I gonna choose?
Yeah, it's like picking your favorite kid.
Right.
Man.
Right. I know. How do you do that?
Yeah,
right. Because at the end of the day, you can't do that with your kids.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no.
But to some degree, your businesses do feel like your kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's our assisted living facility was the one thing that, to me, would be the only thing that could potentially hold me back.
Mm-hmm.
So. And to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, is that the assisted living facility that we owned was a smaller one. It was 12 beds,
right.
So kind of a residential model. It had an administrator and it had a team of about 10 to 12 people, right? And so that administrator was kind of really the key to making the assisted living facility successful, right? If I lose that one administrator, if something happens, it's that's I don't know, it's
that's the linchpin.
Yeah, and it's and then all of a sudden I'm in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm gonna if I was moving forward in a greater way in any other business, I could potentially have to come back and be involved.
The administrator,
I'm gonna go hire a new one or make sure the new one's doing what I need them to do, and so it was all right, well, if there's one that makes the most sense for us to focus on. I don't want to say just getting off our plate. That was something off our plate. That would be the assisted living facility. So we decided, and it was such a shocking decision because back in my in the back of my head, I was trying to justify that I could do all 3, but also knowing that I had listened to Patrick, but David told me that you basically can't. If you want to grow, right? So I'm like, oh no, but I can. I can.
I'm different.
Yeah, I'm different, right? Yeah, I got this. So so I realized in that moment, this is what I need to do. And I come home and I told Chelsea, I'm hey, I'm selling the house. She said, what? I said, I'm selling the house. She's like, what are you talking about?
That's big.
Everyone was no one was expecting that, and it was purely 100% because of, I knew in my heart that I want to scale the adult daycare, that the adult daycare to me like is the one business that has like hardly no competition.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be like getting like to the electric vehicle business 10, 15 years ago. Like 10 years from now, everyone will be jumping on the bandwagon, but 10 years from now we'll have all the best locations.
Right, you'll already be there.
We'll already be like in all of the best areas across the country. We'll already be the premier, like we'll be the one that helps create a standardized model across all 50 states. It's weird how these like these little pockets of like adult daycares, but they're all so different.
There's nothing consistent.
There's nothing that like you can go state to state to state and have an expectation of this is what adult daycare is.
Right.
But you go to state and you have an expectation of this is what assisted living is.
Yeah,
this is what
home
home care is. Like, to me, I just feel like we're at that very beginning stage, and there's a lot of reasons why. One, affordability. So home care, if you need someone to come out to your house, it's going to cost $30 an hour.
Right.
Right. If you're going to go into an assisted living facility, it's going to cost $500 to $6,500 a month.
Yeah.
Right.
It's expensive.
You know, so adult daycare becomes this alternative solution where we're closer to like $15 an hour. So
wow.
like so we're like half the cost of
It's
home
a
care.
huge alternative.
Oh yeah, huge. And we're really focused on the middle market, middle America.
And all I gotta do is drop mom or dad off,
and we can pick them up.
Oh, even better. Think about that. What's the name of the new brand?
So the new brand is Active Age.
Active Age.
Yep, Active
I
Age.
love it. Okay.
Yep, so
and we've talked a little bit about the future, but like, what is the goal in the next 3 years? Where do you want to be in 3 years?
So by 2025, I would love to be at 100 locations.
100 locations.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's lofty.
But like the only reason why I feel confident we have a plan for that now is because we decided to go the franchise route.
Right.
And so what's beautiful about the franchise route is that as long as we have our systems in place,
right,
then we can scale as fast as
you're providing them the model that they need.
100%. So like and so for us, our goal is to take over a lot of the back end. And the thing is, we've been doing it for 3 years now. Like, so I mean, we've been playing in, like, we've experimented and done all of the R&D on adult daycare.
By doing it.
Yeah. Trial and error. What works, what doesn't work. Every year, trying a different thing, tweaking this, tweaking that. Like, now I'm like, we got it now. Right. So I really feel like really what it comes down to is us, like, our biggest goal is to take all the administrative functionality off of the plate of the franchisee.
Okay.
So we're handling all the activity programming, we're handling all of the CRM, lead management, nurturing those leads, and then we're handling like all the employee training communication, like down to either their employees.
Right.
Not only are we training them, but then we're having also the training content for
making it easy for them.
Yeah. So like it's like a plug and play.
It sounds like you can get to 100.
Yeah. The plan is to move home base and to open up a new adult daycare in Sarasota.
Right in our backyard.
Exactly, and then really make that kind of like the future of like that's our flagship. That's where we train out of. That's where we bring franchisees across the country to come and tour, and then just be able to scale it up out of there.
Well, I can't wait until you open it.
I'm excited, man, because we'll be right in the backyard.
Yeah, and you were showing me pictures of like the ideas, and so we'll come out, we'll tour it if that's all right with you. The end of 2024. We're going to come back and we're going to see not only I bet 100, but I bet 150, even 200. Man.
I love that.
I believe in you. Got the confidence and the passion.
The world needs it. Like the thing is literally middle America needs this solution.
Yeah, man.
And they don't know they need it yet, but like just from a cost perspective, like and just the general well-being of their loved ones. Like imagine this, like say you're 90 years old, right? All of the people that you spend time with today that bring you joy and happiness, they're gone.
They're gone.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
You wake up every day, like what is the point?
Yeah. Where's the fulfillment?
What's the point of life? What do you do with your life? And we, through this adult daycare program, actually give people like a new sense of purpose. And we give them a sense of meaning. Like they're actually they have something now. They have something now. Like they look forward to going to see their friends.
Yeah.
They have like a place to go that feels like home to them, like something that they look forward to, a group of people they look forward to seeing, and things to actually do again.
When you get the first one, we're going to come out there.
Oh, dude, it'd be awesome.
Appreciate the time today.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing your wisdom with the next
generation.
Dude,
thank you for everything you do, brother. Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
It's awesome what you guys do, too. So.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, bud.